Good evening, this is Dr. again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue with read Psalms. I finished the first part of Psalm 31. I'm going to finish the second part, Psalm 31. If you recall briefly, if you recall the previous part, we talk about how anguish, how uneasiness he feels, and after that, I will continue to read. But I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hands. Deliver me from my enemies and from those who pursue me. Let your face shine on your servant. Save me in your unfailing love. Let me not be put to shame, O Lord, for I have cried out to you. But let the wicked be put to shame and lie silent in the grave. Let their lying lips be silenced, for with pride and contempt. For they speak arrogantly against the righteous. How great is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you, which you bestow in the sight of man on those who take refuge in you. In the shelter to your presence you hide them. From the intriguers of man, in your dwelling you keep them safe from accusing tongues. Praise be to the Lord, for he showed his wonderful love to me when I was in a besieged city. In my alarm I said, I am cut off from your sight. Yet you heard my cry for mercy when I called to you for help. Love the Lord, all his saints. The Lord preserves the faithful, but the proud he pays back in full. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. So this is the second part of Psalm 31. If you recall previous one, he was not at ease. He said he feels not safe, and he was pursued by enemy. He feels anguish, and he sensed the traps and asked God to save him from those traps. But I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hands. Deliver me from my enemies and from those who pursue me. Regardless, the enemies and the traps and the uneasiness and the neighbors, all the friends, they all deserted me. But regardless, I trust you. O Lord, I say, you are my God. You're still my God. My time are in your hands. Deliver me from my enemies and from those who pursue me. So you are the only one can save me. My life is in your hands, oh God. So save me from those who pursue me, and let your face shine on your servant. Save me in your unfailing love, because your unfailing love, and let your face shine on your servant. I think he referred himself. Let me not be put to shame, O Lord, for I have cried out to you. A second time he mentioned, let me not put to shame in this Psalm 31. So means there's some slanders, or there's some injustice or false witness against him. He feels his name was not as clean as before. For whatever the reason, regardless where is in what circumstances he wrote this, but he's previously the glory when he was young, slay the Goliath, and now his name was not as clean as before. So he let your face shine, let the wicked be put to shame and lie silent in the grave. Let those who made those slanders or let them be put to shame. Let them who shamed me, and let them be put to shame. So, but not put me in the shame. So, let their lying lips be silenced, and with pride and contempt they speak arrogantly against the righteous. So. Again, this is saying his enemies. What did the enemies do? The enemies make slanders to ruin his name and to put him in shame. Probably blame him for something he did not do. Seems it's not a small matter. It's because he feels shamed. How great is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you, which you bestow in the sight of man on those who take refuge in you. So how great are you? So it's praise, and you have stored up for those who fear you, you have bestowed in the sight of man, and those who take refuge in you. So whoever take refuge in you to believe you, you save them. You do not make their belief in vain. So their belief in you is never failed. In the shelter of your presence, you hide them from the intriguers of man. In your dwelling, you keep them safe from accusing tongues. So in your shelter, you hide them and from the intriguers of man, from those, from the intriguers, which the motivation, the evil motivated people. You save those people who believe you. In your dwelling, you keep them safe from accusing tongues. So you protect them from those slanders or accuse or blame. Praise be to the Lord, for he showed his wonderful love to me when I was in besieged city. So praise the Lord and show his wonderful love to me. He has showed his wonderful love to me when I was in the besieged city. When the city was besieged or was under siege, he was saved. And in my alarm I said, I'm cut off from your sight, yet you heard my cry for mercy when I called to you for help. So he has this, because he was the chosen one, he had this alarm system built within him, and quoted, I'm cut off from your sight, means I am being away from you. So this is quoted. So that he had this equipped alarm system, knowing the situation is bad, and he right away he cried to the Lord, and the God heard my cry for mercy and when I called to you for help. So he had this alarm system, so he responded with crying to the God he believes, and then the God respond to him. So this is different from him and other people, probably because he was equipped with in my alarm I said, I'm cut off from your sight. So he was alarmed or reminded that you're away from the God you believe, or you're away from the God of Israel. So then he came back right away to communicate and to reinforce the faith, and cry for mercy, and love the Lord, all his saints. The Lord preserves the faithful, but the proud he pays back in full. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. So again, he called out to those believe and love God, and be strong and take heart and hope in the God that they believe. So this is the Psalm 31, quite long. The general tone of this is plea and feel uneasiness and very bad situation, calling for mercy, calling God, please save me from the enemies, and also see the beliefs. God, you are praise be to the God. He showed his wonderful love to me when I was in besieged city. So during his previous distress, or when he was in the besieged city, and God saved him to take him, free him from this that besieged city. So he had this thanksgiving at the same time and belief, because you have done this before, you're going to do it again. But again, he in general, he's really communicate his solitude, loneliness, and slandered by the neighbors, by the friends, and pursued by the enemies. He dumped all of these emotions into this Psalm 31 to relieve all the emotions, the uneasiness, the agony, anguish, anxiousness, fear, and thankful, and belief. Everything danced in this Psalm 31. Actually, almost every Psalms just focus on this, all the emotions going on in his mind or in his situation. So this is Psalm 31. From the Psalm 31, again, I see the faith. First of all, even though the situation is very bad, but even though he was in severe anguish or anxiousness, but he did not forget the God he believes. So communicate with, pray and praise, or wrote down the Psalm 31 to communicate with the God he believes. So this is the Psalm 31. I finished the 2 parts in 2 video. Thank you for watching, and you can read and interpret in yourself, in your way. I'll see you next time.